Today we have with us two leading experts from the Indian pharmaceutical industry, Nandini Piramal, Chairperson Piramal Pharma Limited, and Arjun Juneja, COO Mankind Pharma. Leaders will be discussing with us a range of topics confronting the Indian pharma industry. We have also questions on the opportunities and threats in the Indian pharmaceutical industry, and most importantly, where are we going to be heading in the next 20 years, the time when we will be seeing 2047 as our growth opportunity and innovations.
It's Monday, the 24th of November. I am Vikas Dandekar. This is Corner Office Conversation.
So, Nandini, we'll start with you. You've been in the business for a couple of years now. Do you want to
Only
start?
20.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Sorry. Yeah.
Only 20.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been a very strong legacy. You know, the way the organization has been founded, the initial years of acquisitions by Mr. Piramal. We used to call him the takeover tycoon, and now you are in the saddle. How has been this transformation?
I think in the 1990s, when we first started in pharma, it was a different world. I think India was still emerging from the license Raj. And, there was a world of possibility out there. I think as we become bigger, we've had to adapt. We have presence in the US, Canada, the UK, and India. So it's been transformation and I think culture change that's played a large part of it. And I'd say the other one, I think, is scale. India Pharma, I think in 1990 was about like $3 billion. And now it's $60 billion overall as a pharma. And amongst the companies, I think we're amongst the biggest exporters in India. So I think it's been a transformation of the industry as a whole and a company as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So the transformation part takes me to you, Arjun. The story is already so well known, and Bhai Saab, as he's lovingly called, in the last 30 years, Mankind built from absolute scratch. How do you describe the momentum that Mankind Pharma has seen? You are also at a very, very critical point in the leadership of the company. Your take?
I think it's been a phenomenal journey. I mean, we used to look at my dad, as kids, because it started in 95. I was only 9 years then. And, I've seen him go through the rough areas, the lean patches, and seen life when it was tough. We've seen the journey with our own eyes. I think the reason why Mankind is where it is because we've been very good learners and we've been adapting from what we were when we started off, catering smaller towns, cities, moving into bigger towns, moving into OTC products, then started focusing on chronic products, and recently acquired BSV. Lots of learnings and lots of learnings to come, and the transition is not yet over.
Yeah,
I think it has just begun.
sure. So Nandini, in 2010, a very crucial decision was made, and Piramal's domestic pharmaceuticals business was sold to Abbott. That was a big point of change, a transformation for you too, and moving into a CDMO and a couple of other businesses that stayed with Piramal. What has been the experience like for you?
So when we sold the business in 2010, we actually sold 65% of revenue, but 95% of profit. We spent a lot of time saying, where can we be relevant? And we said the three businesses that we're in now, CDMO, complex hospital generics, and OTC, we were relevant. We could, be one or two possibly in those markets. And we could actually double down. So that's what we did. We actually put in money, we scaled the business. We actually shut things down and that we weren't the right owners for. For example, we spent 16 years trying to do an NCE business and realized that we weren't the right people to do it. And in 2020, when we sold part of the business to Carlyle, we said we're big enough now to eventually list, right? And we have that enough scale and size to do that. So I think it's been a journey again of scale, and I go back to change and transformation. I'm saying, like, how do we take these small subscale businesses and decide where can we play and how can we actually make them bigger and relevant?
Right. And the hospital's business has been shaping up very well for you.
Yes, I think we're the fourth largest player in the world in inhalation anesthesia, but we also have sort of number one in the market share in the US. And like we're looking, how do we actually expand that strength in the rest of the world?
Right. Those strategic acquisitions actually stood you out from the rest. A couple of massive deals that Dr. Piramal actually shaped. Do you want to see that coming back?
I think we'll look at doing acquisitions that make sense, but I think they would be within the three businesses.
Right.
So, for example, we're always looking at portfolios of hospital products or brands and things like that.
Right.
Our hospital products basically grew through acquisitions, and so we'll continue to look for those.
Right. Related question to you, Arjun. Mankind Pharma's core is domestic market. I think if I'm not wrong, it's still about 95% of your total revenues coming from India market.
90%. Yeah.
About 90%. But you've been doing deals in the innovation side also, the Innovent D, where you are doing the PD-1 range of cancers. Then there was another deal I saw in 2023 in the UK. So is there a realization that probably you need to make the switch to the innovation side now?
Absolutely correct. I think this realization came to us a few years back.
Right.
And I think, yes, all of these deals that you talked about are bringing that kind of innovation to India.
Right.
Our focus has always been in India, and it will continue to be in India. And whether it is the UK Actimed or the Chinese Sintilimab Innovent PD-1.
Yeah.
So I think all of these are for the Indian market.
Right.
And few years back, we also started our innovation journey. So the first one that we're working out is on obesity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a GPR119 agonist, which is undergoing phase 2 trials.
Okay.
As of now. The second one is in autoimmune disorders.
Okay.
So that recently got the permission to conduct phase 1 trials.
Okay.
Apart from that, we have a lot of innovation happening at Bharat Serum. One of the key reasons which, allured us towards Bharat Serums is innovation that they've done, especially in the biologics and the blood plasma products, which are high entry barrier products, technology is something which is they've been there for years, but there are not many players. I mean, for us to grow and to take the next leap, I think innovation is going to play a big role in Mankind's journey.
Yeah, everyone wants to be in the obesity market, and that is another level of discussion. How do you want to see the market coming up in the next 6 months after the patents go off for semaglutide?
I think it'll be the patients who will be the ultimate beneficiaries, after the patent expires. I think most of the Indian bigger companies would launch the product. And once all the big companies launch the product, 2-3 things happen. One, it becomes more accessible. B, all of us, we start going to doctors, promote the products. So the number of prescriptions increase. And obviously, number 3 is in terms of cost, which is the most important with these obesity products. I really hope that the cost should go down.
Right.
It becomes more accessible for patients who are in need.
Okay, so now coming to the running part of your organizations, what do you draw from your very, very strong support from your families, from your father, from your uncle? There is a very strong relationship that they have forced with people who are working on the ground. And that's what I keep hearing from Mr. Arjun Juneja also, that I really look for people who are sitting right at the back of the hall and ask them what's the issue. So
I think for Mankind, people have been the prime strength, and also we act as gatekeepers that who enters the organization. And I think the other thing which I mentioned earlier, what is very important for us is the speed of execution. वो एक कहावत है मैनकाइंड में, if I may say so, that अगर कोई चीज़ समझ में आ जाती है तो हम उसका रॉकेट बना देते हैं. So that's how we work.
Right, absolutely. And I have also heard that, in your organization, there are no targets set, but you are definitely asking questions on how many new doctors have you met.
So I think you're absolutely right. We don't set targets. We actually focus on the process. We focus on the journey. So ask कितने doctors से मिले, how many calls did you do, see the number of prescriptions getting generated, new business coming in, support we're getting from different doctors, if there's productivity increase or not, but how the new products are doing. So we focus on those micro level details, and if you focus on these details, so sales or revenues will automatically come.
Right. So in less than 30 years, you are at number 3 by market share. Do you already see a position, the pole position for yourself in the next few years?
Well, if you ask me, that's always the dream, to be the number one company in domestic. And yes, we see ourselves at the pole position in a few years from now.
What will be those few years like?
It's difficult, because the pole position holder is also doing well.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a intense
so we'll have to
competition.
outdo them.
Right.
Absolutely. So it's difficult to predict how many years, but yeah, maybe by the time I turn into my 50s,
Hopefully by then.
yeah.
So, Nandini, in my discussions with Mr. Piramal, he always used to say that no US, and he saw this whole competition really going nowhere. And we are seeing that situation right now, ANDAs don't matter, paraphors are down, 505B2s are there, but not so many. What has been his lessons to you when you discuss company strategy, growth forward?
I think the one is the focus on values, so knowledge, action, care, and impact. And part of it is also the legacy of partnership. So how do you partner with other companies, and especially the innovators and brand builders to actually build the business? So, for example, last year, more than half of our work in pharma solutions, the contract business, was branded work and innovative-based work. So I think that's the legacy of strong partnerships. Some of our biggest clients, I think, have been with us for more than 10, 12 years. So I think that's again one of the lessons that we've learned is how can you be a good partner and how can you work with them over a long period of time so that you actually you add value to them.
Right. You emphasized about the branded business really gaining momentum. Do you think that also gives you some lessons in how R&D needs to be done? Because that's also something that actually comes to you naturally.
I think that's one of the things that we're good at is the scale up. And I think we're also at the cutting edge of some other things like in bioconjugation, our ADCs, a facility in Grangemouth is doing like a whole variety of bioconjugations. And again, you learn and you probably, again, it is about partnership with the researchers on the other side. And that's why often people come to us is because of that talent and scientific rigor.
Right, absolutely. So, Nandini, Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance is a group of solid companies, 23 large companies working in diverse fields. What have been the collective learning? How do you actually learn from each other, the threats and opportunities? What do you discuss?
I think India as a country benefits if we are perceived to be having higher quality and more regulation around quality. So I think we as IPA believe that the Schedule M and actually implementing that is a very good thing for our country. Ultimately, if you put the patients at the heart of it, as a country, we want to make sure that almost every tablet that is being given to a patient, right, is something that we would feel comfortable giving to our family or our friends or anyone around us, right? And that, I think, benefits of strong regulation, I think, will help us both domestically as well as internationally.
And we always see a constant pressure coming from the US, from multiple parties there, always raising questions of quality. Senate keeps hearing these testimonies. How do you see that part going? Because it's been about 10-15 years of a journey from the time the improvements have started happening. And, we've already come a long way to you.
I think we have come a long way. For example, our company, we've never had an OAI. We get audited by everybody from the US FDA to, the MHRA, to the Finns, to the Koreans. And I think the bar keeps rising. And if we want to play the game, I think we have to continue to raise the bar.
So I remember long back, when this was right it was like erupting every day. Lots of large companies were getting hauled up by the FDA investigators. And so we were asked, what exactly is it that distinguishes a company? And from the whole lot, we found Piramal having a very clean track record. So what was the secret at that time? Was it like multiple audits?
No, it's culture.
Yeah.
So first is, I think, quality is culture. The focus is on process and not as much on outcomes. I think that helps. I think having accountability as well. So I'd say it's all about culture. I think the first one. Second, I would say we get audited across the company probably on a once a month. Right? We had 160 customer audits last year. And so if you have like 17 sites, you're pretty much, you're getting audited 10 times a year, more or less, right? And we actually have science-based justifications for why we choose to do, a certain thing versus another way, because a different auditor, whether it's from a company or a regulator, may have a different point of view. But I think ultimately, if it's based on the science, I think that's where quality wins.
Right. So Arjun, related question to you, Mankind had a big campaign a couple of years ago about the quality of products, in which you had featured Amitabh Bachchan also on, just having that trust about supplying good quality medicines in India. Do you want to say something about that, on how you actually ensure that, the trust in your products is the ultimate goal?
So, back in the days, people used to associate or call us that we are selling economical products or affordable products, but they are not of the right quality. So, Mankind always had this tag of not selling quality products. And we were constantly fighting against this. A lot of people used to think that Mankind is an OTC company.
Right.
Then we started the campaign of Amitabh Bachchan, where we want to tell people that, we are a pharmaceutical company.
Right.
90% of our revenues are still pharmaceuticals. And I think it was a very successful campaign, not just for consumers, but also it played into the minds of doctors as well.
So with the same flow, I'll ask Nandini now about what's your vision till 2047 and beyond. You have very, very clear, distinct pillars of your business. Do you want to grow these as your, verticals? Any adjacencies that you would like to see?
I think at this point with 2047, we'd want to scale the business. I think we believe for each of the businesses, there's still a lot of headroom to grow. And we are like maybe not even 1 or 2% of the overall CRDMO business. Even in generics and the hospital generics, it's a very, very large market. And similarly for the, consumer health. So I think there's a lot of headroom to grow and there's a lot of scale to be had.
Right.
So I think current focus, I'd say, is, continue to invest in our businesses and get to scale.
Right. The modalities of treatment have also been changing so quickly. We are now talking about radiopharmaceuticals, oligonucleotides, ADCs.
The modalities may change. I think we will, as in we're a leader in ADCs, and that's something we want to continue. But I think it is things like MABs, oligonucleotides, peptides, all of those new modalities is something that we're going to continue to invest in.
Right, exactly. So, would you like to be the kind of a Lonza and the...
I think we want to be an integrated player, so I don't think we'll just say, fine, we only want to be a peptide player or only be a specialist ADC player. We want to continue to offer integrated services across. And I think this is where our network, whether it's US, UK, Canada, India, I think will all help us.
Sure. To you, Arjun. Most of your business still remains from the branded generics and the OTC side. Do you see the mix changing in favor of your own brands? You've done your tie-ups with the Chinese company and the Actimate, the UK company. How do you see that changing in the next 2 decades or so?
So I think licensing and partnering is a key and will remain a key for us going forward.
Right.
If we want to bring these cutting edge new products into the country. And again, the 3 pillars for us have always been, reach, affordability, and quality.
Right.
So we'll continue to focus on areas that we are working upon. Venture or gain market share in therapies where we're not strong. We ventured into specialty products a few years back, grow market share in those specialty products. With the acquisition of BSV, we've gained access to super specialty. So grow our market share into super specialty.
Yeah.
Gain our market share in ROW or emerging market countries, especially with BSV products, because they have a significant market share in those areas because of the kind of products that they have, which are high barriers to entry kind of products. Innovation will be another pillar for us going forward. We will continue to invest into R&D. We'll continue to buy or partner with innovative companies globally, because we feel that if we don't start the innovation journey now and we don't invest into the innovation journey now, I think we'll miss the bus. And the next decade or so would be, I think, Indian companies transitioning themselves from being generic/branded generics into innovative patent holders. We also have to focus on talent building, and we need to build that talent pool who are able to drive our vision.
Sure. It's a good prescription, actually. So, Nandini, the China question to you, it's a quintessential part of seeing how the whole ecosystem there has thrived. And it's been in stages, and it was probably by a lot of design. Your take on that, on what exactly should we be doing to really replicate that kind of a model?
I think there is possibility in sort of making business easier. So I'll give you just one example. It can take 10 days to import different sort of reagent or different sort of chemicals into the country. Whereas in China, it's like 24 hours. So there are things like that where, having right customs warehouses at the right places, frequent flights, all of that, I think things like that, I think there is potential in terms of ease of doing business. If you, again, as an investor that, you want to do things like bulk drug parks and things like that, but getting permissions is still hard.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we, as a country, I think ease of doing business is something that we can always improve upon. It's a journey. Okay. So it'll never be complete, but there's always things that we can do.
Sure. Okay, so I think we've covered quite a few of our subjects, and very important points also came up. So I'll ask now a couple of questions, one line each from you. First with you, Nandini. You've spoken about the lessons you've learned from Dr. Piramal about the value system. What is it that you would not like to do what they did?
I think a lot of it would we see as a continuation. It's the culture, it's the values. Obviously, they started the expansion outside India, but we've kind of scaled it.
Arjun?
Getting into certain businesses which were not needed at that point in time, and there are still some businesses that I wouldn't have done.
How do you see your own organization, your own position changing from where you are right now, Nandini?
What keeps me coming to work every day is you're a pharma company and you're making patients' lives better. So obviously, as you become bigger and as you get to a different scale, you do different things. But I think as my dad said, he's like, I became chairman at 22.
Wow.
Right? But the kind of chairman I was in 1970s is a very different chairman to what I was in the 2000s. The kind of things I did different, right? But my title didn't change.
Exactly.
So I think that's, you have to, always constantly keep with the times and keep, doing different things.
Right. Thank you for opening up and speaking so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it for today. This episode was produced by Vinay Joshi and Rajas Naik, sound designed by Amrit Reji, Some good news to share before we wind up. Corner Office Conversation has been selected among the top podcasts of 2025 by Apple Podcasts. Listen to all episodes now on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and the Economic Times website. New episodes drop every alternate Monday. Thank you and have a good week.